Hey there, it's your friend Patty, and I'm back today talking about how you set up a landing page to connect with workflows when you want to offer a lead magnet of some sort for your real estate business, or any business really. So it doesn't matter what business you're in, but I really do focus on real estate a lot on this channel, but this will work for just about anything you're doing. So inside of your HighLevel account, or inside of your Engage More Pro account, which is my version of HighLevel. So hopefully you are already started working inside the workflows and creating your own landing pages, but I'm going to show you how I train my agents. Basically, that's what this is. You're going to be watching me train my agents in my private Facebook group and show them how to get this whole thing set up so that we can lead capture and stay in front of our leads a long time. So let's get to it. But before I do, make sure that you hit that like button and subscribe to this channel so you don't miss anything, because I've got a whole pile of videos planned for setting up your real estate business inside of HighLevel. So let's get this done. So first I'm going to do is I'm in one of my accounts that I've done a lot of training in, so it might not look exactly like yours because I've got a few different new things in here than you probably do. But what you want to do first is go in and look at the lead magnet funnels that I've created already. I already have funnel pages created for all of the major kind of things that you might want to go out to lead generate with. So funnels are basically the landing pages. So let's go in to look at promote my listing. So if you have, and so I'm not going to go through every single one of these, but you have the ability to tell the world that you have a new listing. Okay, so when you let me pull up the live version of this one and see what it looks like. And it's kind of a blank thing here, which you can edit. And I've gone through training in the past on how to edit this, but I'll go ahead and show you just briefly what you need to do in here, since this is kind of a sample. But what you're going to see is a pop-up that will automatically get people to fill this out. If somebody clicks on the link, a pop-up can come up. There's also this form down here, so it's either going to be a pop-up or the form. We're just trying to get them to find out more about that particular listing you have in this case. Now, the goal here is I'm going to have someone sign up on this, and then from there, we're going to trigger a workflow that's going to deliver information about this house to them. So it's going to be toward a buyer. It's a listing I have, for instance, that a buyer might have an interest in. So that's the purpose of this particular one. But our goal is always to make sure that we automate delivery of whatever you're offering. And this goes for everything that you do. If you're going to do a landing page, you can decide to redirect them straight over to your lead magnet, which in this case, this is what it is. It's a lead magnet. So we're going to want to redirect them over to, or you choose if you want to deliver it with a redirect after they sign up, so they go straight to it, which in this case wouldn't be bad. But I also 100% believe that you should deliver it as well to them in their inbox or text if they're open to giving you text information, right? Their phone number and all of that. So we have to, first of all, make sure that this thing's ready to go. I'm just going to go ahead and click in here really quick and click on edit just so you can see what's in here. And then you can take this now and create whatever you want if you have a listing. So let's get in here really quick. Now, if you have an IDX integration with our company, then you can actually put in a widget from your IDX broker in here. And I can actually probably pull that up and show you how that works really quick, because you could put a widget to your actual listing if you have one in here, as opposed to putting information in. Now, I actually don't want you to do it on this landing page, though. On the redirect, you would send them over to a page on your website that is with the information about the house. That's what you would do. Okay, so we got to make sure that you have all that figured out. So I'll go there with you next. Okay, so first thing is, what I would do here is put a picture in the back. This is a background. I just want to start from the beginning. The green section is a section. Let me click on this. This kind of helps. If I click over here on the left, the green section, the green area is a section. That's the whole big, like in this case, I like to just call it a banner. So a section kind of is a banner. It's big. and wide. And so if you ever want to change an image on here, the ideal size for that is about 1980 by 1020, I think it is. Yeah, I think it's 1920 by 1080, sorry. 1920, 1080 pixels. So if you want to go and take your images and put them into Canva, you can create your image the size you need it. Okay, so put that in here. And then now if I usually will do the wide. This is a wide width version. So this is the green. This is the green section. If I go to the rows, if you come in and scroll in just a little bit, you're going to see the blue area, a row. That's what we're looking at. This one here has some columns in it. If I close this out, you can see I have 1 column, 2 column. Purple is the columns. They come in automatically when you choose the row size that you want. So if I want to pick another row out, I could pick a single row to add in or a triple columned row. This particular one has 2. So the purple is the columns, okay? And then inside of those are the elements. If I go to the elements, you're going to see all the things that you can put inside here. Okay, so we should make sure we're clear. We have the green, which is a section, the blue, which is a row. The row houses the columns, and the columns are purple, and inside are the elements that you can drag in from do whatever you want. Okay, so this one here is a headline and a text element, and then a button element. That's what we have going on in here. So if I want to change this image out back here, I just have to come over here to the right side and pick an image out. So I've already got a whole bunch of images I could find, but I usually will set up, you can see I have hero image folder. Since I first started working inside of this software, I have tried really hard to be way more organized. When I first started, I wasn't that organized. So you can see I got a lot of crap down here. It's not organized. I say have folders in here that you can say are banner images or hero images so that you know those will fit in those spaces well. And because otherwise they're going to get distorted. It won't be the way you really want it to be. And then you can have one that's just like for websites. You could even have one, I would have a folder that says square images. Because that way, if I need a square image, I can get my hands on it, right? So, but anyway, so I've set up a couple of hero images, I think, in here that, let's see what I got. Yeah, so if I change this one out, let's just change this out just for fun so you can see. So there's one. So, and here's another one with a house on it. Let's use this one because it has a house on it. I'll just show you how I can double click on it. It'll load in, see? And then once it's in here, if you go over to the right side here, you can see you have options on how this is going to look. And I'm going to go here for full center parallax. And so what that does is actually keep it solid in the background. That's probably, I suppose this one could work, if you want to use that. And it just holds still back there, right? Now I could also go to full center, which is just going to center the whole thing, but it's going to scroll with it, okay? And then I have the fill 100% width. So that didn't change too much. Because I made the image the right size, it's not really doing a whole lot, which is good, because otherwise it could get really distorted. Here, fill 100 by 100. So it's like full width, full length. So that one, again, because I made this image, is the size that it should be here. It's not changing a lot, which is good. Now, if this is too bright back here, and in my case, I don't like how bright it is. If I'm going to use this kind of image, I'm going to put an overlay on it. So if I go over here, I can do it here, or I could do it in Canva before I bring it in here. But if you go over here, you can go black background image. I want to fade it out a little bit, and I could fade it if I want to. Now, I don't particularly like that color, so I'm going to come here and maybe put a little color on it so it'll darken it up. And so black's usually my favorite because it tones it down. But you can see here it's a half fade. I can go light fade so it's not as dark, or I could go a really dark, heavy fade here and really darken it up. I don't like that one so much, so I'll probably go half fade on this if I'm going to do this. Okay, so this is an idea. This is probably not the best picture, because really, if this is a promote your listing, you should be putting your house that you're listing in here for that, okay? But make sure that you have it set up. Now, you don't like the way this is laid out, you can also say, you know what, I'm just going to put the button underneath here or put it somewhere else. And right now it's set up to go to the left. You can see if I come over here, it's left aligned, but I could center align it. And then I could say, you know what, I just want to dump that out altogether, and I could just put the picture back there. This here is also a background color, and it's kind of a, there's an overlay back here. So you can see through it kind of thing. Now, maybe because I've done that, I might want to take the fade out. Or go a lighter fade. Yeah, that's probably what I would do. And then I could put whatever I want. So here's the thing, on a landing page like this, I'm not going to put the address in. You know why? Because I want them to contact me. I don't want them to go drive by the house. So you got to keep your whole goal is get them to contact you on everything we do. So we don't want to overdo it in here. We just want to say beautiful Tempe home for sale. You could say under, 500K or something, whatever you want to say. Get the price and details and more. And then that'll give them incentive to want to come in here and maybe get it, right? So this button right here, just so you know, is set to open the pop-up. However, could I send it? This happens to have two forms on it, this particular one. So realistically, it could pop up, the pop-up, but these two forms need to be the same. And you can see right here, if I click on this, it's just going to open the pop-up. But if I wanted to, I could have it scroll down to where this form is instead. So I'll just show you how that works. Scroll down to an element, and it will scroll down to the element where the form is. So I kind of have to go dig for it a little bit. I want to make sure I'm in the right area. What I would usually do, in fact, let me do this really quick. If I'm going to choose to do this, I'm going to click in the area where this element is, and I'm going to come here and go form section. I'm going to type it in so I can find it. Oh, if I could type, that would be really great. Form section, okay? And then now when I click on this button, and if I want to change the color of this button, by the way, I could just go here and, red, green, blue, all good colors, right? Catch an eye, catch the eye, right? And then I'm going to leave it to the blue, I think. There you go, green. Let me see, green. It looks kind of Christmassy, but all right, I'll just leave it like that for right now. By the way, if I want to add a animation to this button, I can go here and I can just like catch their attention by bouncing it. I like kind of these down here personally. This kind of rotates. It's an infinite loop. So I kind of like to use that. And if you want to change the font and all that, you can do that at the general tab here. Just scroll down and you can change up the colors and stuff on the buttons or whatever you want to do. Same thing with these fonts. I'm not going to get into too much of the weeds with showing you how all this works, because the goal is to show you how to edit the campaigns too that go with this. Now you can put some home details in here, which I'm not going to do, but you can. You just click on this. One of the things I do want to bring up on the this is a check or a let me show you what it is. It's a well, you know what? I forgot to show you how to get down to the bottom. I got my head spinning because it just took me 30 minutes to get onto this Zoom, and I trying to go live in the group. Let me go back to the button so I can finish that discussion. So click on the button. If I want to scroll it down to the bottom, now I can go down and find the element that says I want to send it to an element, and I want to go find the element, and that element now should say form section on it. So it's easier to locate where you want to take it. Okay. All right. Now back to this. I personally, every time I put these, check type comment things in here, let me show you. It's a list basically. You have the option to add a bulleted list. When you add these, I really don't like the fact that they're only 1.3 line spaced. In this case, it's only one. Like if I do this, look how tight it is. So if you add these yourself, this one here up here that I added, if I go over to advanced, you can see I've put it at 1.7. That's where the line height spacing is. Here, too tight. So come back over here, and if you want to change that, you can just change it right here. So I'm going to go at least 1.5. Depends on the font size that you got going. Okay, so just understand that. But I'm going to get that out of there now. Put a few details in here, but don't tell them how much the house is. Don't give them the address. Give them enough juicy details to, get them interested. Now, you could also add a few photographs here if you want to. So what I might do is click here and maybe go to a 3-column box and then go add an element. And let's go add a couple images. And usually, honestly, what I will do is I will format this one image here. and then I'll just copy it over here and replace it. So if I want to put an image in, it just makes life easier, because if you want to format the image, you can. Let's find one that might be, this is a vineyard I have for sale up north. Let's see, I'll just put, I mean, they're not very attractive photos, but I didn't take them, but somebody did that weren't so great. But anyway, let me just throw this one in here right now, but I can add a couple of images in here. So you can double click. Sometimes when you double click, you don't do it fast enough, it won't load. Just click it, double click. There it goes. Now, like I said, okay, hello. There it goes. I think as I'm on Zoom, things are kind of slow. If you're going to do this, you want to make sure the sizes are similar if you're going to go something like this. Okay, so I'm going to click on that. Now I'm going to format this the way I want it before I go and clone this over to these others, because it'll make life easier. So I do like putting a shadow on here. If you look over here now, it added a little shadow on the bottom. You can adjust it. I could also change the radius around the corners, is normally what I like to do too. I like to just use round corners on it. If you want to put a border and all that, you can do that. All right, so then what I would do is I would just clone this thing and then drag it into these boxes kind of thing, because it just makes it easier. You don't have to do this again. Now all you got to do is click on that and go and replace the image. So let's add another image in here and see what else we got. Hopefully they will look okay. See, the sizing is kind of funky because it's not the same size as that one. So it's just, then you've got to mess with it a little bit, which I'm not going to get into on this video, but let me just clone that one and then I'll put this one over here. So now you have a few other images you can add to it, right? Again, we'll just pick another one out just so you can see. What else do I got? Oh, let's see. This was a good deal, by the way. If you guys are still looking for if you're looking for investments, this is the way to go. This is it's a vineyard, and so that's where they do the wine stuff. That's all here. Anywho, so these two were the same size. This one was not quite the same size. I must have taken a screenshot or something off of here, is probably what I did. If I want to try to adjust it, I could come over here. By the way, when you're going to edit images, don't put permanent sizes in here because it'll get screwed up. So just pick up one or the other. On the height, I'm just going to go 550 and leave the other one. See, that's not the right size. So let me go to, you just kind of have to play with it a little bit. 300's too much. Let me go to 250 and see what it looks like. That's a little bit better in size. Notice I'm not changing the width. I could either change the width or the height, but don't do both, because it won't work. And then you'll be like this, I can't get this thing to look good. Even that's just a tad big. I could come here, maybe go 240, see what happens. Yeah, that's a little better. See how that worked? It didn't distort it too much. But if I'd gone in here and put in 240, because that was not a regular square, it's not going to look right, right? So this was never a square to start with, so it's going to be funky. Okay, so I usually will only change one or the other when I'm doing this, all right? All right, down here, let's talk about the form. Now, when they click that button, it's going to scroll down here, and it's not going to do the pop-up. But the key here now is this form. This form is what triggers the workflow. So whatever you put in here, know what form it is. I've already set this up in the system already for you, and it is promote my listing form. If you don't like this form or the way it looks, you can go into the forms in the funnels here on this sites tab. You go into the forms and you can edit it. Again, a lesson for another day, but it can be edited. And you can see you can put in some custom fields if you want and all of that. But right now I just have the standard stuff. Key is that you've got your terms and conditions and everything in here. If you want a text, make sure the stuff's in here for your legal well-being. But this all has to be edited over here. So you could go here, or you could go out, a screen back, and then go up and look for forms. And you're looking for the promote my listing form. So if you want that button to be a different color, you have to go into the form to do it. Okay, so, all right, anything else on this you can edit. All right, now I'm not going to get into all of that right now. I wanted to be sure you knew that this form is the promote my listing form, but you can see here, every form that I have corresponds to triggering a workflow. So if you want to trigger a workflow, you need to have a separate form to trigger it. Every single one of your landing pages needs its own little baby form or whatever you want to do with it. Okay, so that's important. Okay, I'm going to hit here. And then you'll notice down here before I head out is that where is this going to go when somebody signs up? And you have to tell it that. So now you have to click on the form in order for this to pull up. And then you can see I have three options. I can use the action from the form builder, which I rarely do, to be honest with you, because I always have a follow-up page to send things to. It's either going to be a thank you page or it's going to be directly over to the whatever the item is. Okay, so just understand that. In this case, I do want to send it to a website URL. It's probably what I'm going to do. Do I love doing that? To be honest with you, no. You know why? Because they're going to go over there and then they're going to forget about me. I personally like them to, it's not they're going to forget. If they're going to my website, they'll see me over there. But I guess this just has to, this comes into play with your lead magnet. As far as what you're offering, if it's a download, I would put that on your website. Don't give them like a PDF if it's a guide. If you can put that thing on your website, that's where I would send it. I personally think any visits to your site are great for search engine optimization. So you always want to try to send people there if you can. Okay. And so what you do is you create your work, like if it's a home buyer guide or whatever, you're going to put it on your site, actually create a page on your site and put it there. Inside of our system, I've given you home buyer guides. So you can just take those and put a URL link on it if you want, or put it on your site. Just move it over to your website if you have a site in our system. If you don't, then you can use ours. So just getting them somewhere where they're going to see more about you is just always the best thing to do, because they go to your site and you've got other information about, search homes and, learn about us, and that's way better than just some PDF that doesn't have anything else in it other than maybe a little bit of advertising for you. So, just my 2 cents, and I'll go on for hours about that. So let's not. But anyway, so, all right. So you have to tell it what to do. In this case, we are going to send it to a website URL. So I'm going to have to come back to that if I'm going to set that up. So I will really quick set that up. So I'm going to go into IDX Broker really quick just for fun. Actually, you know what? Maybe I don't want to go that deep. Okay, so I don't think this lesson's meant for that. I'm going to just show you that on my website. So I do have a website. I got a few websites in this particular account. I'm going to go to my websites, because you got to have all this set up before you start running ads and telling the world. If you don't get this set up, you're losing an opportunity to stay in front of your people. Okay, so I'm going to go to my website, and it's under construction right now because I'm starting to use it to train with, and we are going to get it all souped up and ready to go. But let's just say I come over here, and this one is, I have to have the actual property that I want to promote, right? Like I have a page that I could set up for it. Let me just go over to this one, just because this one I can see it. But I have a page that I created on my website. So they will go to the page and redirect to it that will have the results. So if I was to get into IDX Broker right now, I would go in there and grab a widget that would be the results for that house that I'm going to have, right? And so if I click, you can see this is just code. If I open up the code editor, this is actually going to a list of properties that I have in this case, but you could get a widget out of there just for your listing. You'll create one, and that's a whole different, training, but you would get that and paste it in here so that when it pops up, when someone clicks on, and I'm going to look at the live version, hopefully it's working. Yeah. So this is a widget that is loading up the properties in that search that I had set up for this particular page. Now, in this case, it was for Fountain Hills Homes for Sale. But again, I got it, right? So I need to grab the URL off of this. And this is not the URL, because this is the login details to get into my back end of my site, right? So that's not what you're going to grab. You're going to grab the URL that you created for the page. Again, another lesson, but you got it, right? So there is the URL for it. That's the live version. So now I got to go back to where? The landing page, and make sure that the redirect is going to that page. Okay, so let's go get that set up. So I'm in my website, so I actually need to go to my funnels, because that's where my promote my listing landing page was. So if I go back over to my promote my listing landing page, then I'm going to go over here, promote my listing landing page. And Now you can see I have a thank you page I could send it to. So there's two things I could do here. I could just send it to this page and put the link to it here, or I could just redirect it straight over there. So I'm not going to confuse us now. So I'm just going to go ahead and redirect it. So I'm going to come back into this document or this page when it decides it's going to load. And again, because I'm on Zoom, everything is always a little slow, especially in my world, because I live out in the boondocks and I have the weirdest internet. I'm on actually a phone internet out here. We have Verizon internet access, so it actually works pretty good. It's better than the other crap we had. So I got that going for me on top of the fact that I'm on Zoom trying to record inside of our Facebook group today, but all right, maybe it'll load someday here. So once it gets loaded, we're just going to make sure that it's redirecting to that page. So I'm just coming back in here to take care of that. And if I had been thinking ahead, I would have just grabbed that and shown that to you before. So, all right. And it's not loading. Come on. Yes, I want to go back, just make sure that we're putting the URL in. All right, let me see if I can get it. Kick back in here, just go back out. All righty, and we're frozen everywhere. Hang in there, guys. Almost. Hope everyone's having a good day while I'm sitting here staring at this thing spinning. My son keeps telling me I need to get an Apple computer, and that'll probably save me. And I have not, my issues with that is just like, I'm just getting too old to learn something new, and I can't have downtime while I'm trying to figure stuff out. All right, this is not wanting to load, so I have no idea what's going on here. Let me see if I can get out of here. Just give me a minute. Let me see if I can get it to load. Might help if I turn off the camera too. That might help. Okay. I don't know if that helped, but that's definitely working now. So share it again, see if I can get it to work. Okay, I'm back. All right, so I just need to tell it what's going to happen. So I have to come back down and click on this form and then make sure this is go to a website URL. And I'm going to click on paste and paste in the URL. And I don't need to worry about it opening in a new tab because it's just going to replace this tab that it's on. So, okay. All right, now I would just save that. Okay, now. And if you want to set up your SEO for this, you can do all that. Again, another lesson, different day. All right, so now we know we have this promote my listing form. Now, if you have 3 listings going at once and you want to promote 3 listings, you need to create 3 different landing pages, right? And 3 different forms. So all you got to do is clone this thing and replace out what you want, right? So to clone, you have to clone the form, create its own form. You can just take the form you have and just name it. You could do listing 1, 2, or 3, or actually put the address on it so you don't lose track of what you're doing. But you can clone this entire thing. And normally what I would do is this here is cloning the funnel step. We don't want to do that. We want to go out. We want to clone the entire funnel. So we have a whole new fresh funnel for each of my listings. So I could have this one go down over here now and just go clone, and it will clone this entire funnel, right? And then up here, you got to go up to the forms and create another one that is cloning the promote my listing, right? So the lead magnet opt-in forms are in the folder here for you, already built. You guys got all this already inside of here as being part of Engage More. This is what I do. Remember, I wrote a whole book on this whole thing, dripcampaignsecrets.com. So if you guys are wondering how to set up your CRM, go get that book because it's going to help you. I walk through all of this stuff, not necessarily in this software, but just understanding the process of what you need to do to get yourself set up in here so you're not reinventing wheels. Okay, so now here's the promote my list. I'm in the forms this time. This is the form that's built inside the landing page. Now I'm going to come down here and then I'm going to clone this and make it, well, they use the word duplicate here. So we're going to duplicate that and create a separate one and rename it right away. And I would name this one too, probably. So you can rename these just so you know. No one's going to see them. Oops, I didn't really mean to open that. No one is going to see these. Okay, so if I want to rename these, I just do that up here at the top next to the pencil here, right? Just rename it. So you can name it the house, if you want. Just know that you can come back and use them again after you sell the house. Then just come in and rename it again. So, right. So you're not reinventing this every single time. You don't need to create brand new things all the time. You got 3 listings this month, and next month you have sold all 3 of them, and you want to start promoting your next 3, then just keep using the same forms, just replace them out. Does that make sense? Okay, next. Now I got to go to the workflow. So I know this is going to be a buyer, right? And it's buyer from the Promote My Listing campaign. So I'm going to go down to my buyer templates. I'm in the automation tab, and I've got all of these buyer campaigns that I created, right? They're all in your account already if you have an account with Engage More. So what you're going to do is just go into, find the one that says Promote My Listing. And I think I just threw that by it. So you're looking for it. Let's see, Promote My Listing. I just saw it. I'm seeing things. Some of these, I know I'm seeing things because I saw it. Oh, there it is right here. Okay, so here it is. Okay, now I want to just remind you guys, inside of these campaigns, I'm going to open this up. So again, I'm going to go back to, if you have 3 listings, and they're running at the exact same time, you need 3 workflows. Okay. Do you need to edit every single template in here? No, you do not. What you have to know is that at the beginning of this workflow, I have provided you, and so let's go through it really quick. The trigger I'm going to talk about in a minute. First thing I want you to do is make sure that you come in and assign this to you. So make sure this has your name on it, right? I have a team member. She's not getting this, but I'm going to make sure this is it. I'm going to assign to me. You're going to get an email notice that you got a lead from this, because this is what's triggering. It's going to tell you things are happening when somebody signs up. You're going to get an internal notification. If you want to add a text notification, you can do that. So you could just go here. I didn't do this for you because I didn't know if you wanted to be bothered with text, but you could send yourself a text notification and then say something like this: you just got a new promote. You could even see, 123 Main Street lead, and their name is, I can put their name in here, right? So I'm going to go here, contact their full name, right? So I just telling that's what this is, just a notification to me, and telling me that I got a new lead. That's all. I could have a template in here already set up for it. I might, for all I know. I'm just not going to go looking for it because I got a lot of templates. But you could also type it here. If you had a template, you'd have to go out to the marketing tab, look for the snippets, and add a template there if you want to. So in the meantime, I'm not overly concerned about having a template for this. So I can just use this, hit save action. Now I've added a notification to myself that I need to, oh, you know what? It just occurred to me, I didn't hit the notification one. Sorry, I'm going to back out. I'm going to delete this one because that was a text that's actually going to the consumer. We don't want that. I have to make sure sometimes I do that. So if you want to add a text notification to yourself, you're going to click on plus. I apologize, I screwed up on that previous. And go to Nota, send notification, send internal notification. Then you're going to pick SMS. And then you can pick the user type, and you're going to pick you if you have a team. If you don't, you just pick who you in there. And then I can go here now and paste that. Whoops, that wasn't it. I can go here and say, you just received, God, I can't type, and my keyboard's slow, just received a new lead for 123 Main Street, right? If I have more than one listing going, I might want to do this, right? So I'll do this again, and I'll put on the contact's name is the full name, right? And then hit the save action. Now you'll see these should be bells because these are notifications to us, okay? I'm also going to add a tag that a buyer campaign is on, just so I know. I don't really care if it's Promote My Listing. But I could add a tag that says it's 123 Main Street, which would not be a bad idea. So I could say 123 Main Street, and you just have to add that tag right here. Probably added it already. And then hit save. So now I know that it came in as a result of that lead. You could also add a source if you want to add a source to the system. So depending on if you want to tag it or source it. I'm one of those people, when you read my book, I talk about the fact that if you have fields, you should try to use those fields, because you're going to end up with 40,000 tags. And people don't want like that. Instead, I could just say the tag came in as a result of the source. The source could have been a promote my listing source, right? And actually, I have that right here. You can see that. I've already added it to this. I have a source that says promote my listing. So if I just want to run a search, I can just run a search for every time I ever got a lead. I would run the search in the contacts for the source, and I could see where everybody came in from. In this case, it was a promote my listing offer. And if I go and open up the lead, I could see by adding that tag that it came in as a result of that particular house. So this one's already set up for this. And this also adds a status. So it's a brand new lead. If you want to start moving people through opportunities and things like that, you can do that. I don't actually have the opportunity set up in this workflow for various reasons, but you can choose, and that's another training. But if you're interested in learning about how the opportunities work, you can really track people well through that pipeline, the sales pipeline. So it's really up to you how you deal. But I could go in, if I set the status for new, I'm going to run a search for all my buyers that are brand new in here, and I can understand where they're at in the process by doing that too. All right, next is I'm not going to go through this entire thing. This is a year's worth of content and tips and advice and checking in and all of that, right? So you have over probably 35 templates between email and text, assuming they opted in, that they could get the text as well that's going out. But I'm only really concerned about the first few things that come out of here. And that's because I need to deliver what they signed up to get. And that's where this comes into play. You see, if I click on this email here, this is just, hey, thanks for requesting information about that house, right? So you can see here, home listing info you requested is the subject line. This is a template I pre-created for you. So what does that mean? If I need to put the information to redeliver that house, I could do that right here. I could do it by editing this email. So I want to go back to the fact that you might have 3 listings going at once. This needs to be edited. You need to edit it. But if you're going to have 3 going at once, you need to have 3 versions of this email, because right now it's showing this is one template inside this workflow. So if you want, then you need to create a duplicate of this. Now, could you do it right now? You could. Is it confusing and will you get messed up? Probably. So for me, I would feel like I'd want you to go out to your marketing templates where these are all held and create duplicates of these for each one of your 3 listings. But for right now, I'm just going to show you can edit it here, and I'll show you where to do the duplicates. So let's just say right now I only have 1 listing. And I'm going to just promote this one. So right here, it says, check out the home listing. You can change this however you want, make it more specific to whatever's going on. Right now, I'm just going to say, check. Do you have to? No. The only thing I want to make sure you do, though, is go here and so check out the home listing. And then you're going to come over here and make sure that you put the URL in for that home, right? So I'm going to put that back in here, which is the link back over to my website. So right here, there's a question or a schedule appointment. What this is going to do is actually just generate an email back to you if you want to use that. The other thing you could do is put your contact form to your website in here if you want. There's a lot you could do with this if you want to do it, right? But all of the templates in this workflow look like this. So if you make a change to this, then you might want to do it in all the emails. So it's just up to you right now. It's just set up for them to click on, and it will create an email back to you if you want to do that. The other thing I want to point out is that, there's subject lines that are involved with this too. So changing it over in the other area is just way easier, but it's just, it's pretty standard. We don't have to worry about the subject line editing that right now. Now, if I'm happy with that, I'm just going to hit save, and now it's fixed. So I don't have to worry about it delivering what it needs to deliver because it's going to do that. Now I'm going to close this. Now it's going to wait 3 minutes because we want to look a little bit like we're not like right on it because it looks too fake otherwise. But I put a 3 minute delay on this. So you're going to go down to this is the text. So let's click on the text, assuming they opted in. It says, oops, I skipped over it. Sorry, 2 minute delay. Sorry, I skipped one. I actually do two texts right off the bat. And the first text is, I'm going to click on it. Hey, this is me. Always make sure you're going to tell people where you're from in this first email. You got to give them options to opt out. I mean, realistically, you should do it in every text. But I do it in the first one for sure and say, hey, it's me with my brokerage. You got to tell them who you are. You got to tell them how you got their information because this is part of the laws and regulations of texting, you guys. So make sure that you do this and don't, if they opt out, they opt out. Just let them do it because you're just going to get in legal trouble if this doesn't happen, right? Anyway, so here, thanks for requesting info about my listing. Would you like to visit this home? So I'm always going to be asking a question. Calls to action are questions. It's calls to action are not, oh, let me know if let me know if I can help you. That's not a call to action. A call to action is ask a question. That works best always. Okay, so we're going to take, this one's fine with me, honestly, but I could put the address in here if I want to get a lot more specific with it. So just something to know, but this is a template. So you need to go over and edit these templates if you're going to do this. Okay, so I'm going to leave this one the way it is because I'm fine with it. Now, after this, let's just say this. This is like the first day. Then tomorrow, or it's going to wait 3 minutes and it's going to say, oh, by the way, here's a link to my website. It's automatically going to load your website in here, assuming you've gone into the custom values, because I don't know what website you want to put in. If you could actually send them to the link at this point. So I could realistically come in here and actually put in this link for the actual house. By the way, in case you want the house right here, here it is in this case. Now, what it's doing though is pulling from the custom values. In the custom values of our system, there are a bunch of spots for you to put information in, and you can put in any website URL you want. And the reason that I don't pull it from the profile is because I want you to have a choice, depending on these workflows, what you want to put in here. So you don't have to put the actual homepage of your website in here, and I usually don't recommend it. So depending in this case, it would make sense maybe for you to send them straight to the house information on this particular one. So you might want to go where it says custom values to your site and actually put in the information. I'll show you here in a second where this goes, right? You could also just take this out altogether, but I like this because I don't put a link in the first text because I want them to respond to me. I put it in the second text, and that's why I waited 3 minutes in hopes that they would respond to my question. Responding lets you know if they're really serious and how interested they are, right? So I don't normally just put a link in there on the first text. I want them to respond. So then I'll send a text that has a link in it, and then, and you can send them anywhere you want, right? Now, after this rolls into the rest of the standard buyer campaign that I have. So you don't have to change anything in here unless you want to. Now, the only thing I'm going to say is you have to understand that these people, like this is the next thing, these people are going to get the same emails no matter how they come in here after the first week. Okay, so you're going to create your strong workflow. You don't have to edit anything, but if you do make an edit and you make it specific to that house, it's going to change in many of the other workflows that I've created for you. So watch out, this warning. So if I open up this one about interest rates, and I decide that I'm going to go in there and make some edits about interest rates, and then it's specific to that house. So the interest rate on this house is, 3%, whatever. And you could get it for blah, 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 just know it's editing the template that is being used throughout many of the other buyer campaigns. So if you're going to do that, just go clone the letter and replace the letter in here. So if you want to replace the letter after you make a clone of it, you have to go in the marketing tab to do this. But I could go right here now and just change out the template because you can see I've got the templates already pre-built in here. If I click on this, every buyer template that I ever created, and we've got I don't think we have 1,000 templates in here, but we have a lot of templates for all different kind of things, right? So, but you could clone if you like that template or you want to write your own. You can clone it and just put in whatever you want. Okay, so, but you got to come back in here and make sure that you replace the letter out just by right where I just showed you. Now, let's go back up to trigger this thing again. What's going to happen at the end is just going to warn, it'll tell you that that it's over, right? So there's that. Now, how are we triggering this? This is the easy part. I'm going to click on add new trigger. A trigger is what's going to automate this, so it'll go on by itself. So I'm going to go here and I'm going to go here to forms. I'm going to type in forms submitted. Guess what form we're going to put in here? We need to add a filter and we're going to put in the promote my listing form. Of course, you can start typing promote, it should find it. And there it is. Again, if you got more than one campaign going, you need 3 different campaigns. Or if you got more than one house for sale now and you want to promote these, you need 3 different campaigns, 3 different forms. That's why I want you to name these forms right so you can find them over here and you're connecting the right one to it. So now I just hit save trigger. And when somebody fills the form out, it'll automatically pull in. So, but I would make sure that you rename this workflow. If you do have, I mean, you could just put the actual, I wouldn't like go crazy, but I would just like promote your listing at, 123 Main Street, right? So you just make sure you know the difference if you've got more than one campaign going. If you don't worry about any of what I'm telling you on this. Just use this campaign. You don't have to edit it. And if you only have, you might be one of those people like me now in my lifetime. I don't take a lot of listings at any given time. That's just part of my business model at this moment because I'm busy helping you guys. So, all right, now in order for this to work, you have to go over here and publish it. Click publish because if it's not on, it's not going to run. So we have to make sure that it is on. So you're just going to click it on when it decides to flip on. There we go. Then hit save and it'll be on. Okay. Let's go out really quick so I can hit home a couple of last things because, well, I'm at 45 minutes in because I started late. So let's go back and I'm going to just be sure you know where the custom fields are or custom values. Let's discuss that. Custom fields pertain to the person, the subscriber in your account, the contact. Custom values pertain to you. So you want to be in here and looking for the custom values. And then you got to be sure that you've come in here and filled out. The easiest thing to do is to go to the folders. And you can see there, I've got folders set up about you fields. So whatever you have, if you can get in here and put this info in, this information is pulling into your templates, specifically your business area. So some of the templates have the business area in them. So if you are working, like I work in the Phoenix metro area, right? So that's automatically going to load into various parts and of the templates that I created. So make sure that you've filled that out. State and brokerage information and your website URL. Now my website's down now, but your website URL that you want to send them to, or no, I'm sorry, this is the guide. Sorry, that's the guide. And then any other areas and things. Just do what you can to fill out as much of this. Not everything's being used in every email, but the better you can fill this area out, the better off you're going to be, okay? Because it's going to help personalize your campaigns. If you're a team and you want to start doing recruiting, that's what this folder is for. So just keep that in mind. If you are doing, if you have an IDX website with us, there are fields in here you want to make sure that you have created. So make sure that you get all those in because there's a whole section in here for IDX fields. Actually, I'm not sure if they're all in here yet. Let me go back out the screen. All the values are here. Yeah, I'm not sure if all of them are here. Let me just type in IDX really quick. So you have a bunch of fields that you want to make sure you get in. Yeah, they're here. So they're in that folder. So this is just got, actually, I wouldn't overly worry. You don't need to fill this stuff out here because this is all mostly, don't touch that. Okay. These are things that are going to automatically load from the workflows. So if you have a website with us, do not worry about filling anything out in here. I'm more worried about you filling out your personal information in this about fields. That's what you need. Okay. Make sure that you get those done. And then everything will fill out correctly in the templates that I've created for you for the most part. What was I going to say too? There was something else I was going to show you, but I can't remember what it was, other than the fact that I want to go back out to the sites really quick. If you decide that you want to offer a guide, that we already have your guides created for you. You see there's a folder here called editable guides. So you have 1 to 4 guides, buyer, seller. You do want to come in here and edit this so it's more specific to your neck of the woods. And of course, you want to make sure that you've, hooked it up to a domain. So if you don't have a domain set up in here for it, and I actually don't know, I'll show you how to do that. Let me go check it. You go to your settings. I'm not using this one, so you can tell. So I have a bunch, but you're going to have a subdomain you're going to send it to, not your main website domain right now. Okay, now could you take this and add it to a page on your site? Yes, you could. That's a different discussion, but you could. But you could also just attach it to one of your subdomains, which I have a lot. So I could add it to a subdomain so that it's live and then save that. And now I could use this. Yeah, I'm not sure that the URL is working, but we'll see what happens. Now I can use this inside of this, and yeah, it seems like it's okay. I just gotta edit that a little bit, which you can edit either on the publishing page here. You want to just say home buyer guide, AZ home buyer guide. You change it to whatever you want, home buyer guide, so that it's just easy. But you do want to go in here. I'm just trying to pull this up so you can see a live version of it. And then now you have the URL. Go back over to your that home values. Make sure that you've added this URL. I'm sorry, in your custom values that I just showed you. Put this URL in here because this guide is showing up in the guide offer templates if you want to use it. Now you don't have to use this guide. If you've got your own, great. But you can use this. Let me open this up. I'm going to just, hopefully it's live and it's working, honestly, because I don't know about that URL. It's been a minute. So, all right, it is. So I have just a real simple guide here, but I want you to come in and add in your own stuff. And the cool part is that you can come in and use the AI to edit this, but this automatically pulled everything from my own profile already. But again, this entire thing is editable. It's simply a landing page. So come in and create whatever you want out of it. One of the other things to point out is that down in here, you can see, click here to start your home search now. It should be live if you've put a website for it to go to. So this is one of my other sites I have. So that's where that's headed. But I have like 4 sites. That's just how I am. So anyway, you've got a button here that that is automatically working as a result of the links that I put into the custom values. So as long as whatever you put in there is where they're going to head. So anyway, that's how this thing is set up. And just make sure now I've got that URL. So if I'm going to have a landing page that I'm going to use to offer the guide, then this is the lead magnet right now. Again, could I take this? Let's see, where did I go? I've got too many things open here. Could I take this and actually put it on my website? I can do that. Let me just see. I don't think I can do it from this location. Clone the funnel step. Hold on, let me see. Yeah, it's just doing it in here. And if you try to add it to your website, now that's just clone the whole guide. If you try to add this to your website, which you could do as a page, you have to go over to the website to do it. And I guess since I'm discussing it, I'll just show you really quick, because this is a kind of it's not real intuitive. So if I want to, I can come over to my website and create it over here. And then if I did that, I could actually create a banner for the top of it so that my banner and everything is on it. So if I do that, I'm going to probably, let me just create a new page really quick. Add a new page. Watch how this works. Name of the page. I'm going to go home buyer guide, where I'm giving you a lot of information in this video. And it's probably, your head's probably ready to spin off, which I don't blame you. I'm just going to call this home. I'm just going to call it buyer guide / buyer guide. Because you have to have, okay, so this was just the name for me to identify. It's only for me. This is the path. So I'm going to go create a new page. Now, this is how I could pull in the guide from the funnel area. The two don't really talk to each other. The funnel area and the website area don't really talk to each other. But here's what I'm going to do. Use existing. And then I'm going to say, where am I getting it from? I'm getting it from the funnel area. I'm going to come here and get it from there. And then the funnel step is my home buyer guide. That's the one, that's the only one really. So that's the one I'm bringing in and go to import. Now it's importing that funnel page onto my website. You know how long it took me to figure this out? Like forever. I had to call tech support, but this was a while ago. And then I went on YouTube and recorded a video on how to do this, and it's gotten a zillion million views because I shouldn't say it's not a zillion views, but a lot of views because this is a struggle. This is like, why is this so hard to figure out? It just was, but because the funnel and the website side doesn't talk to each other yet necessarily. Okay, so this was going to create here. So once I do that though, I could put, you remember how I was saying it's nice because you'd have more information on your site that they could go to. So realistically, I could take this and actually, in this case, put a wrapper around it. So I could have put a wrapper on it so that the header and the footer are in here. But let me see if I edit this, if I can just do it. We want the header and the footer on it. And you actually probably have the header and the footer saved in here. If you want to do it like this way, they're going to see other things. So if I go here, and probably what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of this because I really don't need this if I'm going to put the header and footer on it. I'm going to get rid of that. And I'm going to come over here to go to plus. And I'm going to go to my global sections that I've created for myself. And hopefully I have one that says test global. I don't know if this is the actual one that I need to use because I got a few things. Oh, it is. Okay, good. So now I have the header, right? And then I can come down here, and then down here I could do the same thing where I'm going to add the footer into it to my site as well. So there's the footer. So let's drag that in where I want it. Now I have the website header and footer on here, and it's pulling in all of the information so that they can actually look at properties and do all that, right? So now, and I'm going to send them to this because this URL is different than the one in the funnel. The one in the funnel that I created for you is a subdomain of this. This is the actual website domain. You see the difference? I'm not sure if you did. When we're in the website area, if you own a website with us, you have the ability to do this. And you just add the guide over here now, right? And now just change out and put your header and footer in, and you are good to go, right? So if I hit save, it's better than actually having it in a funnel on its own. But it is nice to have it over there because if you have a site somewhere else, like you built your site on WordPress or something somewhere outside of here, then having that funnel guide is a good thing. It is a good thing. So because you can send them to that if you want to, right? And then you can make sure that you've put the chat widget and all that stuff everywhere you possibly can, because that'll help capture leads too. I'm going to publish this because I'm happy about this. Now, Patty, am I going to put the guide here up at the top so you can get to it? No, but I could put the landing page on here. So I'm just going down rabbit holes everywhere, aren't I? So for buyers, I could say, get the buyer guide, right? So what would I put there? I would put the URL to the landing page for the buyer guide in here. That means I got to get the buyer guide landing page ready. But how would I do that? I'm not going to put the guide on the menu because I want them to give me their information before they do it. Now, I can do this on any of these pages because this is the global header. So if I make a change to this, it will change throughout. So if I click up in this area right here and come over here, I can add another one for the buyer guide. And it's going to be the landing page they're going to go to. So I'm going to put buyer guide. Get BAZ buyer guide, right? This is what it's going to see out there, buyer guide. And I could just say, I can do whatever, go where. It needs to go to a URL, and that URL is going to be the subdomain that's attached to the funnels where the buyer guide landing page is. Got it? So it's not going to go to a page because I don't have the funnel page on this in the website area. It's in a funnel on its own. Okay, so you're going to make sure that that's hooked up to it, right? And then you could decide to open it in a new tab if you want. I think in this case, I might do that. So hit submit. Now, let's pretend I put the URL in because I don't have it. But again, it's going to go not here. It's going to the landing page for the buyer guide, which I provided you in the funnels. Okay, so let's see what this looks like. Hopefully it's working. I'm in a, again, this thing is in construction mode right now. So I hope I can, let me just hit save. I can't hit that because it's probably not going to take me there. Yeah, that's fine. It's changing now. It just changed this out. So let's get it saved so we can see what it looks like. And hopefully I can see it in the preview. Yeah, good. No, I didn't publish it. You got to publish it in order for it to work. I think. I think. All right, so let me take a look at it. Hopefully it's working. Yeah, there it is. And so now if I go here, oh, you know why? It's not pulling up because I don't have a URL in there. But if I did, it would be here in the drop down. Okay, so all right, one more thing and then I'm done. This was an hour-long video. Whoa. Hopefully you're still here. All right, next, I just wanted to show you before I go the funnels. So what I would have done is created for the buyer guide, I would be here and I would have the lead magnet funnel right here. So you've got to get that set up. So everything I just taught you about setting it up for the promote my listing goes exactly the same for your buyer guide or anything in here. So if you got your home buyer guide, this is what you're going to do is make sure you've got a link for it set up, just like I showed you. This one has it already set up. So it's that you notice this is a subdomain of that one because it's in the funnels. It's not related to the site. It's in a funnel. So I have a subdomain of it. So I can use that here, right? So I go subdomain. So if I go here now, I really haven't seen this in a while, so I don't know what it looks like, but if you go here and again, this is all editable. I was thinking it over. It's not loading, right? But yeah, this one needs, actually, it's not my new updated version. We've updated this since this was done. So just ignore that, but it's totally updated. And it doesn't, yeah, this hasn't been, it's not pulling up because it's pulling up the old version right now, but you have it. Okay. So I just want to make sure you guys are aware. There's things to do. You have a lot you can do. I've just given you an hour's worth of content. If you just went back and watched this whole video from start to beginning or from start to end until I'm getting tired, it's lunchtime, that you're going to get everything you need to get your entire workflow set up and ready to run. And we've built everything for you. So there's no need to go and reinvent wheels. Do I want you to edit? Yes, I do. I want you to go into these things and edit them because you just need to make them more personalized to you. Do you have to go and edit the entire workflow? No, because I created those fields to go in there and make them a little more personalized. But you can create your own templates and all of that. Oh, that's what I was going to show you. So you go to the marketing tab and all your templates are in here. So you're going to go here, all your email templates, and every template I've ever written for you is here in the template folder. And that's where the emails are at. They're all in here in folders. So you should be able to find them. And you can even just run a search in here saying, I want to look for the buyer guide. If I type in buyer guide or just the word guide, look at that. There it is. That makes your life easier. And then the snippets right here is where all the texts have been created for you that are in all the pre-built templates and everything we've created. So if I type in the word guide over here, I should be able to find that template that I want to edit. And this guide has a lot. So, okay, you can easily come here, just go here and edit it, which again, there's plenty of training out there for different things, but on how to do this stuff. But this, come here and edit it if you want it to say something different. That's all. Okay, that's it for today. I have no idea if this actually went live on my group because I was struggling, but in the meantime, you will all see this at some point. So I appreciate you hanging out with me. And if you are watching this on YouTube, because I am going to post this on YouTube, just hit that like button and subscribe. and I'll create more videos like this for you. If you like it, I'll keep doing it. All right. We'll talk to you later. You guys have a great day and happy house selling. Bye-bye.